Hey Barry. Okay, for the first 15 minutes of this stream, we are going to discuss how the audio does and does not work, and things like that, because that's the favourite topic of every damn stream right now. Travis, APL, Mobile, Eddie, how's it going, Ed? Ari, Slutterbridge is here too, and Steve, Scobit. Oh, Belle, what are you doing? What are you doing? Oh shit. Do not expect cats to leap off the window when they're... Crazy little thing. She was at the window and I just tapped it and she saw me and she leapt clean off the window into... That's not good because she's only 5 days out of surgery. Alright, I'm gonna have to get a leader to go check her. She'll be okay, I'm pretty sure, but she bounced off the window. Well, you know how cats can bounce when they get scared. Yeah, I was just more expecting her to look in and go, hello. Instead, she's like, ah, mass attack. Alright. Oh, great. So, yeah, I gotta find out what's wrong with this. I thought it went down and was fixed, but then there were little niggly things that just weren't right. And they just kept getting worse. And Apple got their hands on it. And Apple did nice things like disconnect the battery and then tell the person the battery was no good. The battery was getting weak. There was a fault with the battery, but telling them that it was no good, yeah, that was fun. And they also said that the DCM board was not genuine, which is fun because nobody makes clone DCM boards. Hey, Early. Okay, I'm just gonna go check on Bell, see if everything's okay. Bell, no, it's okay, don't panic. She was on my window, tapped and said hello. She got scared and leapt off like, you know how... Alrighty. I've sent the responsible human being off to check on Bell. So I don't know if I've missed something. Yeah, maybe there's a fault with the DCM board because it was actually one part that I didn't replace. So I definitely know it is not, it's not a fake or a clone or anything like that. Hey, Nicholas Ryan and Paul Howell. Hey, man, how's it going? So, yeah, all good, thanks. So, yeah, Belle's getting her first night outside of freedom. It's pretty much 6.5 days since she had the surgery. And now we have another one that's in the recovery room. It'll be 6 day or so, maybe 7 for her to recover too. So, I'll tell you what. And after that's done, we'll have yet another one. So it's 3 girls getting D6 in quick succession. I wish I could make their room better. The biggest problem is that it's quite hot in there, in spite of the best of my attempts. Let's see. Steve K, watched the last video where you were worried about not enough power in the USB. I left a suggestion for an externally powered USB hub. Yeah, I could do that. One of the hubs I've got here can be externally powered, but it had one of those obscure power connectors that you just don't have around. Yeah, it wasn't a nice solid 3.2 or 3.4 barrel connector. It was some tiny 1.2, maybe 2mm one. So I've subsequently lost that. So the fault could be also in this. Less likely, but I'll certainly have a look at the DCM board. That's my first point of reference. Roman nose. I like to think she's got an avatar nose, yeah. So the first thing I thought of is she looks like an avatar. Hey, Ambo from Byron. Okay, what's going on here? Now, this board was... Okay, so we do have a bit of corrosion on that pin there. This board was, or the machine was, liquid damage. But we assessed the machine and decided that the liquid damage, interestingly enough, had not actually struck the board, but everything else around it was. So we replaced the keyboard, we replaced the battery, things like that, and it seemed like it was okay. It went through all the tests, it didn't give me any grief, but then when it got down there, things just started to fall apart. Oh, that's right, and the audio... What the... No, that's a bit junked up. I'm just going to take the board out and have a look. And we replaced the trackpad too, I think. And a lot of replacements on this. This is going to be a job that will likely cost me money. I'm not going to make any profit at all out of this job. Sometimes it just happens. Just like not finding my tweezers for the umpteenth time. I did love it how the particular Apple store that this person went to seems to be very anti third-party repair just by the comments that they made. And so I give respect to the person who took it in there for actually coming back to me and giving me the opportunity to try and rectify the situation. Hey Nelson. So I'll have a look at the bottom of the pins on that. My god, you know, I'm actually kind of out of practice here. I don't think I haven't worked on a MacBook in pretty much the last stream. And the last stream we didn't even successfully do anything. I think we just fumbled around until I gave up from mental exhaustion. And now Pedro, what sort of information you must retain for yourself? Consider always that your customer may watch the videos. You know, Emma, I wonder if it's more an Apple Store thing as opposed to... Because I know there's a third-party Apple service provider that I know of. And they are actually really good to me. And they don't give me any grief. And they often make referrals to me. So I've never had any problems with them. But maybe it's just the Apple stores and my hair keeps falling in my face, which is annoying the hell out of me. Are GPU VRAMs replaceable? I guess technically they will. Hey Mark Linnell. Hey Wade. Wade what? You're trying to be like Deadpool there and, you know, get yourself a WW name. Wade Wilson, wasn't it? And we're taking the DCM board out as well to have a looky-loo. Hey, Infomedia. Yeah, she's doing well. She was just at the window before and I accidentally scared her and then I had to send my wife out to check that she was okay. But yeah, she's doing well. We've got another one now in the recovery room. I did spend 160 odd dollars today to get a evaporative cooler, which is no good right now because the air is just incredibly humid. But you can put an ice block, like one of those blue plastic frozen block type things you can put in the freezer. So you can put one of those in there, and it doesn't work like an air conditioner, obviously, but it does at least take the edge off if you're in the direct fan blow path, so to speak. It's interesting. There's actually. Oh no, that's from the original liquid damage. I was going to say there's residue of damage there. Now it makes sense. It's from the book. Oh, Ready Player One. What weird. How did I not pick that up? I've watched that movie. I guess because I didn't read the book. Travis. I saw the discussions about rubbing enable pins this morning on Lewis's stream. You people are truly the vile part of the internet, aren't you? The people that make 4chan look like a reputable location. I'm looking for my lens cleaner right now so that I can clean my microscope. Alright, since it has been about... How long have we been running now? 10 minutes? I haven't heard any complaints about the audio yet. What's going on? Steve K, you're on your 32-inch Quad HT 2K. 2K is a nice size. I know 4K is most popular, but I actually do find myself liking 2K more often than not than 4K. Maybe I just need to find a good 4K. Just a little crackly. Oh man, seriously. Stuttering a bit. Stuttering a little. I wish I knew... I can't even get another power supply to run it. I'm thinking if I disconnect it from... Let's see, let me just look. I need a long USB extension. Because I'm short of a power point. That's the problem. See, I want a USB port that has no data link in it. I wonder if my router has one. Well, the router would be a data link, but at least it'll be separate. Oh, it does. Hey, cool. Okay. Please stand by for technical difficulties to be commenced. Damn, it didn't work off the router. Oh well. Alright, let's have a look at the main board anyway. Hey, Catherine. So I'm just testing to make sure that these pins are not loose. By the way, I ordered my new multimeter. I don't know when it will get here. It's on 8-day back order from what I can tell. It's a GW Instech. Don't ask me the model number. It's a benchtop meter, 4 3/4 digit, 50,000 count. Technically, it's a very similar spec to the multi-comp one I bought, but we'll see if practically it's a far better meter. It should be. It's $200 more. APMP, how's it going, mate? G'day, mate. I do believe a great portion of the issues I'm experiencing with audio at this point are related to the USB system being overloaded. Pipewire, I do know of Pipewire, I have seen that, yes. It'll assist with the capture of screens too. But realistically, I'll probably wait until they bring it out in Ubuntu by default, and at that point I'll adopt it by default. When will I get it? Probably in the new year. I'd say first thing in the new year. It was only ordered yesterday. I got my refund yesterday. Okay, I mean the backlight. Wait, that's not backlight. That's something else. That's backlight there. Yeah, these caps are a bit shonky. A bit of corrosion on them. Wouldn't call it the worst, but let's have a look at this CD32 something. Let's bring up Flexboard View. The limited edition that only Paul Daniels has. Oh, this is a 164 board. Oh, crapper. I forgot to rebuild the PDF viewer. We can still do it without that for the moment anyway. Alright, so we wanted to check out, it's actually this chip up here, U3210, Thunderbolt. Oh, this is, yeah, I know what this is. We sometimes replace these when we're starting to get desperate and we can't find a reason for a machine not working and we don't want to believe that it's a PCH. We replace these. Sometimes works. Certainly not as often as it doesn't work though. Okay, is there a bit of corrosion down there? No, it's something else. Oh, can't see. Microscope. So it's very difficult for me to blame this board with the extremely limited amount of damage it seems to have. I mean, I can certainly replace that chip and the associated parts, but it's not... Supposedly this machine runs very slow, so it's sort of, you kind of start thinking SMC or disk drive. That's what I need to check. Is this a Samsung or a... I have a feeling it's a Samsung. Oh, that's Toshiba, is it? Yeah, this is Toshiba. Okay, well, I can't blame that. If it was a Samsung, I certainly could. Contacts all look pretty good. Can't see any real corrosion. There's a bit of wetness there, but I think that's insignificant. Notice you've updated the description to make it easier to find the links. Really? What? I have? No. Feel free to continue to post the links in chat. It is actually somewhat more effective because nobody reads the... Nobody reads the description. Is it still using the old paste? It is. Welcome back, Steve, with your coffee. You lucky bastard. It's getting a bit late for me to have a coffee now. It's quite possible the webcam went really slow. As I was saying, is the USB system on this machine is really just... it's excessively taxed. Oh no. But it did feel like that came off a little bit easy though. It's almost like it lost its traction, it lost its grip. Because when I put the heat sinks down, I blew them. If you ever done metalwork or something like that, surface finishing, things on a bluing table, and you back and forth and in a bit of a figure eight pattern, that sort of stuff. And when you do that sort of thing with this, with a bit of thermal paste, it produces a very thin layer, but it produces, it squeezes all the bubbles out and it gives you a very good transfer contact. Yeah, I mean, the board boots and everything like that, it's just sluggish, apparently. So before I actually put a drive into it, I do want to inspect everything I can to see if I missed anything blatantly obvious. So audio chips there. And I've also got to sort out the audio issues. The microphone's a bit dodgy. Now I don't know whether that's an alignment issue or whether the microphone itself is dodgy. Yeah, all the contacts are good. That little veer there does look corroded, but I think it's just a little bit of surface corrosion. It's not actually corroded. Oh, maybe it is. Oh, wait, actually, yeah. Check it out. It's not something you'd normally see. ASD is not available for this particular model. This is a 2014. You can modify the 152 ASD, I think, to work for it, but since nobody, and when I say nobody, I mean Pionov, has done it for me, I haven't done it for myself yet. Well, that's still just surface corrosion in the end. Not enough for me to claim it actually has done something. This is the audio chip on these MacBook Airs. And it exists on the DC inboard, which is why it's kind of funny when people go looking for audio faults. They start to go a little bit mad because they can't find the audio chip on the main board. And that is why. It's because it's on the DC inboard, which is also why the DC inboards cost a little more for these machines. Have you tried to use USB 3.0? Yes, I have actually, Rowan. I've got two of them in my machine, and I'm pretty sure it's Linux, just simply having a bad day. There's a bit of a crack or something in that one, but yeah. The things that would really help is if I get a dedicated capture card, even if it's just one port capture card. 2-port would be better. That would, take away the load from the USB system. And there's not really a lot more else that I can do. I can probably I'm trying to think. I think the new multimeter has USB only interface, so I'll have to use a USB to serial bridge on that. The cap looked like it had a crack in it. Yeah, which cap? There's a resistor there. The black one in the middle, the three. That's a. Well, you're talking about that E there. I think that's just. It's not a normal. I wouldn't call that a crack. Uh, if that's what you're referring to, the one with the E there, I think that's just a bit of a quirk. Does Linux Power Manager USB can you disable? I don't think it does. This machine runs flat out. Yeah, Catherine, I'm pretty excited to get it myself. It's basically been a year and a bit now since I've had a... Well, pretty much since I gave up the Vicky. For as bad as the Vicky was, it actually did work. Hey, Tony W. Oh, let's see if my... Uh-huh. Alright, so we got the board view up and running now of the PDF. I had to rebuild the PDF viewer. I don't think there's much I need to look at anyway. No, I think we're good to go. Funnily enough, Catherine, I actually understood what you meant. There, see this? See how there's this wash effect here? That means it hasn't been sitting down. Something... Did I do something dumb, like not torque down the heatsink screws? But you can see what I mean. It's like... This region here is where you can tell there was proper contact. This here has just been... Well, it's just been free floating. Free floating like Tom Petty. Oh wait, it was free falling. Oh well. Same diff. I'm wondering if that was it, because that would certainly explain a slowdown. Because it wouldn't be, cooling. Is the heatsink flat? That is another good question. It's a good question. See, I don't often get good questions. Most of the time I get people saying, it's the capacitor, it's a resistor, it's a short. And you're like, yeah, that really helps me. Unfortunately, I do not have an engineer's flat to examine this. It's a bit ridiculous squinting one eye under a microscope. Yeah, I don't have an engineering surface plate to examine this. There is a little bit of a bulge on the one side, but I don't think that's going to be... I don't know if you can see it, but there is a distortion just here. Yeah, definitely here, because see, it makes the reflection pull off to the side. Yeah, actually no, maybe that's just the rolling edge. I don't have a good straight edge with feeler gauge. This sort of stuff's a little bit too small to do that on. That's why I prefer a flat surface, like a bluing surface, and you can just run it over it and then see what comes up as the high or low points. What we'll do is we'll put it back on and see how it behaves. I'll be able to feel it if it's sticking down properly. That's going to be weird. Certainly visually I can't pick up anything overly abnormal. It's going to be a pain if that was it. A pain if I just forgot to screw down the screws. Glass, yeah, that's true. If you have like half-inch glass or even quarter-inch probably. Quarter-inch supported on something like this. I do still prefer a bluing table over glass. Mostly because if you get grit stuck on the glass and you start testing it for flatness, it doesn't seem to like that too much. It makes terrible noises, and if you're really lucky it'll crack. I guess if you could just get cheap sheets of glass. There's a lot of engineering tools I would love to get, and hopefully when I get the new workshop and everything set up, I'll be able to start spending money on those nice things to have in your workshop. Hey Jim. Dennis Norris, you got Tom Petty playing Free Falling on you. That's cool. Definitely a coincidence. The machine shop, we use a giant slab for that. A giant slab of granite is a good idea, because it will take a beating. Do you have to periodically resurface that? Do you have a surfacing machine in the machine shop as well? Stick it under? Like a grinding stone? CNC and laser cutout. Certainly CNC would be first for me. In the old business, my model aircraft business, I would have taken laser first. But with this business, I'll take CNC. There's a lot of man toys I want to get. Held surface for about a year and then we just replaced it. Yeah, I suppose that makes sense, doesn't it? Get someone else to do the painful grinding process for you. I mean, realistically here, we're not going to need something to that high degree of flatness. We just want something that's pretty close. So glass really isn't a bad choice. In terms of just get yourself a piece of glass, same with the toss it after a year. We still have the microphone issue to sort out. Now that, I believe, is going to require an alignment adjustment. Laser, yes, would be very handy with acrylic cutouts. I agree. Several of my previous manufacturing things I used laser cut acrylic to make the cases. And it looks pretty damn good too. Particularly if you've got some well-placed LEDs and people can look at it and go, wow, so pretty. Okay, so we're doing the squeeze and swell, and that should push out any sort of major thick spots, leaving us with only a perfectly, or pretty close to perfect, almost no thermal paste between the heatsink and the CPU. Because that's what you want. You want almost none in there. You only want enough to fill the gaps and nothing else. You want as much metal to metal contact as you can possibly get, because that is the superior transfer medium, rather than going metal, transfer paste, metal. Hey, Ron Rogers. Oh, ZX here is too. Oh, alright, now. Yeah, that microphone's going to be a pain. See if I can the alignment. Jim, you been asleep, you poor bastard. I don't think. I, I do worry about you, mate. Now, I don't think you're going to be able to see that because of the high contrast here, but those microphone ports look pretty much smack on to me. So, yeah, you can't see it, but I can. I'll try to zoom in and try and increase the ratio. Yeah, I can see the gauze for the microphone right there. On target on this one too. So the ports are not blocked. So this is going to be fun. Because at least if the ports were blocked, I could say, okay, I ruined the alignment, that's fine, let me just heat it up and adjust it. Unless, Pedro, did you change that? Or you just let it be? I have a feeling you didn't do anything. I had a feeling you were busy sorting out other things. Like making sure that I didn't have an angry customer. So thank you for that. What the flippity doo is going on here? Ah. A piece of rubber getting in my way. Right, you didn't touch it. Good man. How many mics are you using? Well, with this one it's 2 microphone input. Most MacBook Air units are like this. With the earlier ones, the 1278s or the 12XX series, they have little dielectric type um, uh, cassette or whatever. I can't think. The one that looks like a fat button cell. Electric microphone type thing. But these ones are more like iPhone microphones. It's actually quite a marvel that they get them so small and have pretty damn good clarity. Yeah, so on first glance I'm going to think maybe it was the heat sink, in which case that's exceptionally embarrassing for me. Though on the upside I'll be quite happy if it is that, because it means I didn't so much ruin any of the repair job, I just didn't do a good finish up. Which is bad in its own right. Oops. Just knocked something down there. I have no idea what. Is it flexing against the chassis? Oh, you mean the heatsink? I don't know. Not really. No. And it isn't. With these 11-inch ones, they don't tie it down at this end, not like the 13-inch. 5% error on assembly. Yeah, I would hope I could do better. I want to do better. But I'm willing to, at this point, blame the fact that I'm in a constricted workshop scenario and there's too many handoffs, position changes, um, that sort of thing, and it just ends up you don't really get the success that you're looking for. Crud, I'm a moron. There you go, see, I just put the cheese head in the wrong place. Fortunately, that's not a long screw risk. It was still a mistake though. And this hair is annoying the hell out of me. We'll put the Wi-Fi in, we'll test it, and see what our performance is like. We won't put the solid state in just yet. Yeah, I'll miss a comment or two periodically. Probably about 1 in 5 comments I easily miss. Alright, yo, someone should have... Okay. This is the downside of taking Wi-Fi cards out and not putting them through the ultrasonic cleaner, is that you can end up with a lot of junk on them. I'm thinking I need to start doing individual videos about my opinions on things, kind of like how Lewis does. I might not necessarily have kitty cat sitting on my lap. I think that would be a little bit too... Lewis could claim copyright or something, I don't know. There's a couple of topics I want to bring up and have a talk about. One of them is why I am such a-hole and do not give out free copies of Flexboard View when people give me incredibly sad sob stories about things. But I do give copies of Flexboard away for free for other people. So, anyway, topics like that. Mostly because it's just something that frustrates me. Those caps are a little bit shonky, but I wouldn't call them terrible. Okay, maybe I would, but... They've still got their metal end caps, they just look a bit gnarly. Hey, Michael Diode, saw you online, recognize the number. So here's an SSD now. Do you remember if you added it last time? Or actually, I did not have the SSD last time. Thank you for reminding me, Michael, because no, I didn't have the SSD last time. Last time, they kept the SSD, and it was sent up just, without the SSD. So thank you for reminding me of that. Oh, I am going to peel this off, though. It's actually not that satisfying peeling this stuff off. So yeah, I'll do a video about why I'm an a-hole, when it comes to that. And a few other things. Oh yeah, a guide on how to make recommendations of features or bugs or anything like that to software developers. Because software developers, a lot of the time, we're artists and we're little snowflakes, and our feelings get hurt. You know, when people say that our software doesn't work properly, it's like it's the end of the world for me. It's like we work so hard, and then you get jerks from New York and there's this stupid software. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I sort of figured I'll make a video about that, just to so that if people do actually want to make suggestions about software, not to mine but to anybody's, how the best way to ensure you get the sort of response you want. Assuming the response you want is the developer saying, thank you for that, I actually will put time and effort into doing that so that you get what you want. You need to defend yourself because it works on your machine, must be used. That's exactly right, yeah. It's a typical PBAC situation. PEBCAC. Problem is this between person and computer. Or keyboard. Apple probably claimed this was a clone because it's got a stamp on it. But these flexes are actually from Apple. They're not, as far as I know, they're not clones. I could be wrong. As far as I know, they're not clones. They're just pulls from existing Apple gear. Okay, battery in. Like I had one person getting rather irate at me, and I can appreciate. That's the other thing, is that a lot of the time, when people do present to you a bug and things like that, or they're saying it just doesn't work on their machine, you understand that it's not normal, and you're trying to help them. But when they start to do the lockdown thing, and you haven't magically made it work in 10 seconds on their machine, and they say, we're going to get a refund, and it's like, you're not helping, you're being an asshole right now. So, damn it, I'm going to get demonetized at this rate. It's a two-way street. Yeah. If you want to have your software made to work on the system that it doesn't seem to be working on, even though it's working on over 1,000 other machines, then you have to come to the party as well and try and help. It's not all on me. And I'm not asking for a free pass on quality standards. I'm not saying I'm just a lowly little developer. Please don't expect me to actually write software that works properly. No. I mean, yeah, I expect myself to write software that works as best as I can. I'm not looking for a easygoing or anything like that, but I do expect people to understand that they have to be able to participate in the process of trying to help me find this bug. Alright. I need a MagSafe adapter. It's that time of the year where we get to all be really cranky and yell at people. It's Christmas. How dare you not have every solution? Exactly, and not within 10 seconds anyway. And then of course there's the time differences, things like that. Like I said, I understand that people get frustrated, but when they start doing the whole leveraging of you ruined my kid's Christmas, that kind of type pitch, it actually just puts a gap between you and your willingness to do anything for them. Let's see. Is this even on? Yep, there we go. Option. This probably... Oh, right. I didn't hear a bong. Where's my bong? Maybe I didn't hear it because I'm deaf. Half. Kind of. Hey Alexi, good to see you here. How's things going down your part of the world? You guys been flooded out or you're all okay? Michael Diode. By the way, is it Michael Diode or Michael Dijode? Or Jode? I don't know. I can't work out whether you're French or something else. Dutch? This is why I don't like dealing with most people. We are not machines that run 24/7. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, believe me, I go above and beyond the best I can. There was no chime when it was here. Okay, that's fine. It's probably just a MV RAM reset thing. It's all the same. You're Dutch. Okay, cool. Thank you. Alright, Wi-Fi is active. Let's bring up the temperatures. Run Valley. All the temperatures are in the normal, pretty much where I'd expect them right now. Run. The screen's actually got a dent in it, I've just noticed that. Bikes, cars and guns. Had a customer who I swear they were asking every 12 hours about where they're... Oh my goodness, I hate people like that. It's so frustrating. It's, and half the time you are working beyond what you would normally do to help these people out, and they're just making, they're making that bile just climb right up your throat. It sounds pretty damn weak to me. Agreeably, it's an 11 inch, so you can't expect. Yeah. Jim Hook, I was saying to the doctor today that the ironic thing of having further medical dramas is that I've had more support from the YouTube family than most so-called friends. Jim, yeah, that's funny you should mention that, because Elita and I have found the same when it comes to our pursuits of animal welfare, just the way we like to live our life. That we have found far greater support with the online community in just helping promote things, share things, contributions from people, well in excess of where you often are told traditionally to look for support or where you should expect support from. But it's been really nice, particularly for Alita. It's been really good for her to see that there are a group of people out here, particularly modern young males, who are so adamant about looking after animals and trying to be caring towards critters and not just sort of going, they're just a stupid animal, things like that. It's a very refreshing type of thing, and it gives you that confidence that maybe there is some good in the world. Let's see, I had a customer who wanted RAM and wanted it yesterday. It was so urgent, he picked up his machine 6 months. Oh, yeah. Yep. Okay, this is running pretty good. The temperatures are hitting at about 101, 102, which is about right. We're doing 24 frames per second, which is about right. So performance-wise and thermally, it's doing good. The RPM on the fan is 5,000 or so, which is, again, pretty much right on. So far that is fitting what I would expect. Let me pull the battery and see how it behaves. Or rather the power. It continues on, so the battery is supporting things properly. That's good. Now the next thing I need to check is the audio, because the microphone was the problem. It's going to be interesting to see what comes out of this. Maybe the microphones got damaged when I took them out and then put them back on. Maybe in the process of extracting them from the chassis, I damaged them. That's entirely possible. They are surprisingly difficult to get out of this chassis. Catherine, I haven't actually forwarded that to Alita yet. Sort of waiting for a more appropriate time to talk about those sort of things. Given that we already have so many other medical things going on, sometimes you've got to be the filter for your partner based on what you know their reactions will be to certain bits of information. Okay, I need to test the audio here. Let's see. I'm not sure if I have. What do I want? Audio. What is it? Audacity. I'm not sure I've installed it. Right. It seems I have not installed it. Pretty sure there was sound when using Zoom or... Right. Well, I just want to see whether we're going to get... I just want to do a recording, see what the quality of the recording is compared to what I put in. Because from what I first understood, the problem was that there was audio, but it was a very poor quality. Too bad you not even see each other. What? Okay. Left click the Audacity DMG. Where is it? Oh, do I have to accept cookies? You kidding me? Oh, here we go. Oh, Jason Vilmer annoying me. Just had someone send me an open XS Max. Stuff screwed all over the place. Sucks to be Jason. Let's see. Just wondering what kind of repairs you can do on iPhone motherboards. Have a repair shown cans? Oh, right. Oh, crikey, how did I miss this? Hello, Daya. Hello. Sorry for the delayed reply, full stop. I do iPhone mainboard repairs. What sort of faults do you typically encounter? Question mark. I hate it that Facebook makes it so damn difficult to see when people have messaged you, particularly for the first time. Choppy audio, sounds playing up. Life sucks. What? Oh, this is the... For free websites, like open source, all that sort of stuff, it is very frustrating that so many tricks. Know much about fixing Face ID? I know enough not to do it. That sort of thing I just tend to send back to Apple and say, get them to fix it. Hey Ainsley, Dennis. Unfortunately, most of my jobs come from Facebook, so I'm certainly not going to stop it. It just requires a certain degree of vigilance to make sure that you constantly, check. And I haven't checked. Hey, Yosef, Warren, and Vladimir. Hey, Vladimir, I haven't seen you for a while. Just turn the gain down slightly. I could see it was peeking into the red. You prepare to be sworn at. Oh my goodness, Jim. Jim, was that DJ something? DJ Electronics? Because that's where I get these from. Honestly, I'm not really sure. I'm going to crack open that brick and have a look, see if I can see anything's dodgy in there. Maybe a bad wire. Maybe it's something like that. Anyway, Audacity. Thank you. It's going to complain that it can't run because it does not have the security. Hey, Sonia. There you go. You all know my password. Okay, time to require. Hello, this is Mr. Daniels doing an audio test. Alright, the first thing I notice is that there's not a lot of range. So the audio is being muted by something. Now whether the microphones are damaged or whether there's something obstructing them, I don't know. But I can definitely see, you should see a greater spread in that, and that's very limited input. Alright, the first thing I notice, it's actually clear, but it's weird. The clicking's unusual. Oh, that was me probably clicking. Silence. Hopefully no clicking. Press stop. There you go. I think the click was actually me pressing the stop button. I can't fault that audio. It's a little down on volume, but I can't fault it. Alexia, had another repair shop contact me to fix Face ID on refurb phones dumped into something. Dumped in a box on doorstep. For those, I would probably try to see if Apple can help get it done. I'm very quick to just let Apple handle a lot of things. Hey, Yummy Steak. Yeah, so I'm not sure where the audio issues are coming from. Like I said, it does feel like the input is a little bit low, but it doesn't seem, it's not a clarity issue. Even though I can barely hear and even though the speakers are weak, it was still, at least to me, clear. So ITC, I'm getting trolled. A1286, extremely slow chart. 248, wow, yeah. Replace DC port, ISL, replace resistor, current sensing, sold jumper wires, circuit, new genuine 23 cycle. Extremely slow. I wonder if the boost inductor is not. What board is that? Is that 2936 or something? Or 3115? Still suspect it's 2.4. It's quite possible. I don't have a lot of Wi-Fi devices in here, but it is quite possible. Check the mic input volume. I've done that. Oh wait, you talking about on the MacBook here? Okay, I thought you meant. Internal microphone built in. It's set at middle. It responds pretty much as I would expect. I mean, okay, it is a fraction low. That's a little high. It's not much off. I would probably set it about here, which I think is about 65%. Yeah, 66%. Use ambient noise reduction. Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely confused by this one. There is a 3.5mm. That's just for headphones, I think, or is it? Oh no, it should be good. I need to go out and buy myself a cheap combo headset, so it's got headphones and microphone, and try it out. I used to have one and I threw it out like an idiot. Okay, I've just turned off ambient noise reduction and it's still a little bit low, so I would say, if I had to guess, there's probably a little bit of liquid got into the microphones, and it has now got a very faint layer of whatever it was sitting on the membrane. That would be my guess. And so it's not enough to completely wipe it out, but um, it's enough to inhibit it. Yeah. So I might see if I can find another microphone assembly and just put it on there. And like I say, it's not low by much. Like it gets up to around about 45%, whereas normally when I'm talking like this, it should be pushing around about 55, 60%. I'd say that's probably what they're detecting. Other than that, I'd say, so we had the slowness, I'd say, was the transfer paste, and I'm going to blame myself for that. I'm going to guess that I was testing things. I didn't fully torque down the heatsink screws, and so it didn't maintain um, that bond, that airtight bond. The audio, I would say there is a thin membrane of whatever liquid did get through it originally, and so I'm just going to have to replace it. It's a bit tricky though, because you don't find those microphones as spare parts. I have to take it from another machine. Is there an automatic gain control setting in the microphone? I think there might be, but based on what I've seen with other MacBooks, it's lower than what it should be. As simple as that. The microphones, they're not the hardest thing to replace, but what makes it tricky on these is that there's no guiding pins, there's no guiding marks. You basically just have to guess where it is. And the process of removing them and putting them back in does tend to stress the flex that the microphones are sitting on. The other option I could try is to actually just desolder the microphones while they're in the chassis. So we can have a look at that and I'll show you what I mean. Should I just shut this down? Actually, Barry, maybe when you said replace the mics, you're talking about the actual can elements themselves. Son of a gun, they're... damn it, someone decided to screw the battery pack in. Hey Anonymous. PMP, usually what happens when you do that is you rupture the membrane. These microphone membranes are more like your eardrum. So when you give it a quick shot with the compressed air, it tends to permanently deafen them. Yeah, that's going to be a bit tricky actually. Keyboard plastic's in the way. The cap's a bit gnarly, but it is to me an indication that there was liquid running around in there. So yeah, that's my theory. I think that's what it's going to be. That we've basically got a thin layer, and unfortunately, you can't really ultrasonic these things. You just have to. Well, there's nothing you can do. And if you're going to take it out, you may as well just put a whole new one in. So what you have to do in these scenarios is you have to. Can't really do that one, but you put a mark there. Someone knocking on my window. Yeah, you put a mark where these holes are, and then hope to heck that you manage to line it up. It's a little sloppy, but it's not enough to cause trouble. Yeah. Yeah, that's the other problem is, yeah, the ultrasonic will tend to destroy the sensitive elements in there. So yeah, for me, I'll just go find another chassis that has one of those flexes on it still. Hopefully I can find one. I do have a few other of these machines around, so I should be able to find one. Swap it out, and I'm sure when I do the test, it should show up as being a bit better. I don't. Maybe we can see if I've got one right now, right here. Yep, there goes a moron. Like a moron. Okay, now is this one of my own? Right. I was about to attack this machine, and it's not a machine I'm allowed to attack because it's actually a customer machine. To be fair, they wouldn't actually notice because the machine has been run over by a truck, and it was strictly a data recovery job. But my ethics tell me that even in that scenario, it is wrong of me to take their parts. Hey Corey. Yeah, well, like I said, that's why I just put the pen mark in there and okay, this is not the same model. I know I have got the same model around here somewhere. I'm just not sure rightly where it is. Then I've got to make sure that I do actually try and source a replacement. Otherwise, when the next job comes up, I'll be like, yeah, I've got one of those. And I don't. Oh man, I really need to go through this holiday season and sort out all my MacBooks. Ah, duh, there's one right here. There you go. Right, this one's mine. Tell because it's got my name on it. Do you have a spare USB connectable camera with an internal microphone? You might be able to compare the audio levels that way. Tony, are you talking about between the MacBooks or with this microphone? If it's the MacBooks, I don't need to. I'm 87.5% confident that I'm on the right track here. So glad this is my own machine. Ow. Vladimir, yesterday I fixed a USB charging on old pal's car step modem. That one which lights up when you open the door. Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. It's like you had a flashy car. Now, the reason why these are hard to get out is because, as you can see, it's a much cleaner example, is because you can't, even if you've got this all hot and the glue is ready to go, it tapers, as you can see, it's a smaller height there than it is here, which means it has to slide out this way. You can't pull it straight out because there is a lip, and that prevents you doing it that way. So yeah, it's very particular about how it wants to be heated and pulled. So yeah, we have to oblige, otherwise we tear it. Hey, Crazy Jake. I'm not a great fan of cannibalizing my own gear, but like I said, I am the one that didn't do the job properly, so therefore I am the one that must now make amends. Hey, Hatra. I did see you before, actually, sorry, yes. I'm just going to take the main board out. I don't want that. I can hear thunder rumbling in the background, I think. Either that or it's the neighbours and their music. I'm not sure which one I prefer. The other thing I want to make sure is that I don't damage the LCD. So we don't want to have the hot air hitting around this edge here. And then when you go turn the screen back on, you get this weird yellowing. Travis, I would get separate ones. Oh wait, you talking about just the screens, or are you talking about like preheater for the boards? Because I have the A4 size preheater for iPads, and it works perfectly fine with heating up our screens, iPad screens. I did one today actually. It was an XR, and other than a very minor touch issue, it was pretty much a perfect screen. So I wanted to keep it as a tester, as it were. Because the XRs have a fairly deep um, screen plastic bezel depth, and this was a brand new one. Well, not brand new, but it'd never been opened before for anything else, so I wanted to try and preserve it the best I could. See, Tony W. Oh wait, Paul Howe was going, was he? Okay, thank you. Sorry I didn't get to chat much. It's always tricky when you can't keep up with everybody. For boards, you really do want a different type of system altogether. Sorry, you get to see my balding head. Yeah, this glue is extremely disinclined to let go. Like 250 and it's not even budging. Probably doesn't help that the aluminium just wicks the heat away. Hey Makube. Alexi, you picked... Okay, cool, I'll have a look. Hey Lasertech, welcome to the channel. Make sure I don't melt the damn keys either. Okay, it's just starting to happen now. You know when you've got that threshold of how how much force you can put into a particular item before it snaps. And I'm sort of dancing on that threshold right now. Okay, one down. And the other threshold is my fingertips not burning. And making sure the plastic keycaps don't melt. Okay. I understand why they have such a strong adhesive there, but it is annoying, to say the very least. This one can just... it's already been displaced once, so it can just be yanked out pretty quick and easy there. Okay, and I do have my markers there. And yeah, you don't want rattling mics, I suppose. Not unless that was your intent. The other problem is this stuff is so quick to grab. What the hell just fell out? So yeah, we went for alignment this time. Once again, you're not going to be able to... okay, I can see mesh, and I can see mesh. So we've got two free and clear mesh visual confirmations, which means there's nothing obstructing it. It should be good. Hot glue to the rescue, fill it all up. I'll get a dump truck's worth of hot glue, just pour it in. Given there's no lights on next door, I really am thinking this is a storm I can hear coming. I should put on my Batman voice, which I can't do. Storm's coming. Yeah, whatever. Shut up, Paul. I'm gonna put at least one screw in for the battery. Which Batman? Yeah, I guess I'll be thinking of Christian Bale. Batman. Ben Affleck's Batman is pretty much like Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern. Something that just needs to be forgotten by everybody. Kudos to Ryan Reynolds though for dissing the hell out of himself in Deadpool over Green Lantern. Hey JCT. Oh, we got a beep that bong. A bong, not beep. Yeah, I don't remember getting a bong the last time. Uh, Certainly, you know, the Christian Bale, the first one, was a good movie. I mean, the pushed voice was a bit much. You know, when he goes, swear to me and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, you could have left that out and you probably would have had it pretty much perfect. And definitely not Adam West. No, well, Adam West was a far more comical Batman now, wasn't he? Different era. Okie dokie. Okay, so this is my normal voice, and I gotta admit, it's actually still on the low side. Alright, let's bring up Audacity. We've all outed ourselves as old. I'm afraid we have. We'll do it again, same time next week, same YouTube channel. It's kind of funny. I've been watching. Ow, watching my knee get pierced by magnets. I saw a couple of clips of Superman 2 and 3, and it's interesting looking back. Christopher Reeves was an excellent Superman, but when you look at the outfits, you're kind of like, oh, wow, yeah, yep. Okay, this is a voice test. Interesting that Audacity still puts this fairly low. Okay, this is a voice test. Interesting that Audacity still puts this fairly low. Almost looked a little worse. Almost, but then I wasn't really trying to push it too much. I wanted to let just. Man, I think I've actually got rain coming in here. Time to check the radar. Okay, on the radar we have. Okay, there's this rain here. This is where I am. It's a 128 kilometer radar. So that would be. Yeah, about 50 k's away. I'm probably just hearing the rumbling of the thunder in the distance. Travis, yeah, 27-inch 2013 iMac. So why is Audacity doing such a cruddy job here? Built-in microphone, recording, built output. Now, where's the damn gain control? Test. Test. Okay, we'll crank it up to that. Alright, let's see. So we're not hitting anything too like -6, I think, is where it gets crazy. Yeah. Let's see. So we're not hitting anything too like -6, I think, is where it gets crazy. Yeah. Looks like I just need a bit more cranking up. But that doesn't. It's a bit frustrating though when you've got to deal with this sort of scenario because you don't want to. It's an extra thing to tell the customer to have to do. Yeah, it'd be nice if it was already perfect at the center point. I'll have to check to see what their zoom settings are. Uh, I'm not going to do that on this live stream, obviously, because I don't want to dox the person. But it seems like that microphone's okay. The other microphone was a bit cruddy, so I'm glad I replaced it. Okay, shut down. So I think we're done. I think it was a case of, the heatsink transfer and just a bit of a cruddy microphone. If maybe there was some subtleties, some people can pick up some imperfections in the audio that I simply will not pick up due to my hearing issues. And it could be that, like I said, there is a layer of something on the membrane, and that layer is enough to, make things sound pretty bad. The only way for me to have a fighting chance of telling if that is the case or not is to actually put on headphones. Once I have headphones, then yeah, I have a chance. Does the mic have filter blocks? I don't think so because this is just a straight up first boot. Nothing configured on this, especially for anything. The internal setup may have, but mine certainly doesn't. Let's make sure it does boot with the disk. That UFO series sounds like it's before my time. My time was more enjoying X-Files while I was at university. When you're crying yourself to sleep because you now had an X. University's a harsh life. You gotta balance up your desire to go out there and meet people that you didn't want to meet before, but you do want to all of a sudden meet now, and getting studies done. Interesting that the speaker bong is back there. Tell me I plugged that. Well, that is just weird. I don't know if you can see that, but that battery had 40% on it, and it's now giving me a battery symbol on it. What is going on with you, little machine? Had a major lady lust for David. Yeah. Oh crud! I just frickin' well doxed someone. Oh dear. Exactly what I was trying not to do. I actually, yeah, obviously for me it was Scully. I mean, who can blame me? That booted really fast. Too fast for me. And I'm ashamed of the fact that I'm ashamed, and also proud of the fact that I dated someone simply because they looked like Gillian Anderson or Gillian Anderson. Shame on me. I know. But hey, when you see someone like that, you've just got to find out. Travis, you did not like the X-Files. Now, why is that? I actually would like. You can't even get the X-Files on. Well, it's not on Netflix. It's not on Stan, which is the Australian kind of other one. So I don't know. Are there any streaming TV providers who have X-Files? Because the only other option I can find is to get it on DVD, but that's a major pain in the butt. Just wasn't your cup of tea. Saw through everything first 5 minutes of every episode. Ah, well, you must obviously belong to the X-Files. You're an alien, aren't you? That, or you know that we're onto something and you're just trying to play it down so that we all leave it alone. Foxtel, oh god, no, not doing Foxtel. Torrents, the problem with torrents is they usually don't have subtitles, they're not done well, all sorts of things. As I've got no problem, if it's $300 for the complete X-Files set, but I want to have it already digitized so I can just watch it through my TV. Get the DVD and ripping in them. It's like I tried to do that with Scrubs. Tried to do 11 seasons of Scrubs, and that was an absolute nightmare. I gave up after season 1, and that I bought those DVDs, and it was a pain to encode them. Prime Video. Oh, they have it. Well, I'll have to have a look. But yeah, I want them in high def. Well, at least 720. I mean, I know when I watched it originally, it probably would have been 382 or maybe 420 or something like that. But now I have the opportunity to see them in high definition. And yeah, Scrubs, I've watched that quite a few times, but now I'm getting sick of the DVDs. Fortunately, Stan here in Australia does have Scrubs on there, so I can always watch it. Apple TV has the full X-Files seasons. Maybe I can sign up to Apple TV for 1 month and just binge watch. Was it filmed in HD? I don't know. It would have been at least filmed in 720p. Maybe not HD, but certainly 720p. Have you checked out Supernatural? Yes, I am actually waiting for the final season of Supernatural. I'm waiting for Stan to get that. Yeah, Prime has high definition. Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, Supernatural I've been following pretty much since day one. And now I'm just waiting for him to bring out the final season. The last scene I obviously saw was God killing the hybrid. I forget his name already. Anyway, yeah. Well, Supernatural's not finished yet. We've still got that one season, yeah. Alright, okay, I am out of here. It's almost midnight, so I'm going to go and get some programming done. I've got a lot more Flexboard View work to do, because if I want sales of Flexboard View to continue, then I have to produce more feature updates. That's the thing with software these days, is that people want a lot of progressive updates. It's no longer a case of you buy Flexboard View 97 and then 4 years later you buy Flexboard View 2003. Instead now it's a case of people have Flexboard View 97 for about 3 months and they're like, yeah, we want something fresh and new. So you got to just keep feeding out these little incremental updates. It's just the way that people like to do things now. We've changed as a consumer and what we expect, and part of that's probably because Google got us into the whole permanent beta expectation. But yeah, for whatever reason it's done, unless you're someone like Lewis Rossman who never updates software, everybody else likes to see little updates periodically, kind of just to liven it up. When am I likely to do a coding stream? No idea. Please make pinch zoom work on trackpads and Flexboard View. That is actually a bit tricky because the problem with that is that the SDL library that handles the inputs doesn't actually convey that information through, it doesn't bubble it up to my level. So they may have fixed that up in the latest releases, but in the previous ones it was not available. In the PDF viewers, I'll see what I can do, but actually, funnily enough, the PDF viewer doesn't even have half the stuff that the Flexboard View board view has. They're similar sort of infrastructures, but one is missing. The PDF viewer is missing a complete section of library that the Flexboard View program has. Anyway, I'll keep an eye out for it. It might pop up at some point, and then we can do something about it. Alright, I'm out of here. Thank you very much for watching. Sorry, we didn't even get the soldering iron hot. We got the hot air going, but that was just to make some glue go soft. But oh well, we had some hot action, and that was it. I'll catch you all later. You'll take care. See you next time.